It's the Purge meets Speed as New York City in the not too distant future institutes a policy to cull a population explosion that nearly crippled the city. This randomized killing is known as the kill train. And what happens when our protagonist finds herself on one of these trains? This is Kill Train number 1. Hello there, Comic Clan, and welcome to Comics in the Cross, the greatest YouTubers that you've never heard of. I, of course, am your host for today, Cross, and today we are checking out Kill Train number 1 from Mad Cave Studios. I am so hyped for this book today. I have been super excited to check this out since we got the previews at the end of last year. This is one that I had on my list as a guarantee pickup for January to kick off the new year, and I am so excited to be talking to you all about it today. I just hope that you all enjoy the ride on this one. Pun completely and utterly intended, absolutely in every way. But before we get into it, let's do all the usual YouTubey stuff. If you are enjoying the content here at Comics in the Cross, please head down below, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the amazing content we have got coming up. And also hit that like button, it really does help us out in the channel as well. Also up in the corner, I am going to... That corner, I don't know what corner I'm pointing at. My camera's flipped before, so I apologize for that. I'm like, I know left from right, okay? I know. It's okay. But I'm going to put it up, a card in the corner to show all of the stuff from Mad Cave Studios that we have covered, so you can go check out all of the amazing titles that we have reviewed from them before. But as long as I can keep my head and actually speak proper English during this video, let's jump in to Kill Train number 1. Kill Train number 1 is written by Olivia Cuartero-Briggs, with artwork from Martina Niosi. Colours are by Simone and lettering from Becca, Carey. Our issue begins late at night, with the train chugging slowly into a train depot at the end of the line. The train looks bashed up, with holes in the body of the train and windows cracked. Also, from the outside we see blood on the wheels and handprints all over the windows. As we go inside the train, there is no other word but massacre to describe the scene that is before us. The train car is full of bodies, and they have been cut, slashed and torn to shreds with blood spray everywhere you look. When all of a sudden, a hand starts to rise. Some poor soul is alive in the middle of all this chaos, and they start to cry out for help. As a crew make their way onto the train, they find the sole survivor, but quickly bludgeon them to death. As they confirm there are no other survivors on board, they call for the cleanup crew to come in. The next morning, we see a beautiful woman, Vanessa, waking up in her New York City apartment, with a beautiful view looking out over the city. Vanessa gets cleaned and dressed for the day. As she walks into the kitchen, her fiancé Richard is sitting at the kitchen table, working on his laptop. From their conversation, it doesn't seem that their relationship is in a good place. In fact, it doesn't seem that Richard even likes Vanessa, to be totally honest. She thinks it's sweet that he made coffee until she realises that the pot is completely empty. To which his response is that she lives here now too, so he figures that she can make her own coffee. And then also passive-aggressively mentions that after that maybe she can finally unpack her moving pod. Vanessa apologises and explains that she's been busy trying to launch her next story and feels that she's really close to getting to do that. Richard obviously isn't paying her any attention. He asks if transferring her 10,000 millets will be enough for her, and she kind of turns away and says, yeah, that sounds like it'll be more than enough. As he's leaving, he has one last passive-aggressive comment for her, if she can go and pick up his suit from the air wash downtown, as he doesn't really want them to deliver it in case they take the train. When she tries to describe that she's just too busy as she's got all this stuff going on, he tells her that for this apartment and the free millets, surely if she's getting all of that, the least she can do is pick up his suit, and she agrees with him. As Richard leaves, Vanessa watches the news report of the kill train from the night before, and we get our first more in-depth explanation of this world, albeit it does come in a little bit of an info dump section here in the middle of the comic. New York's Transportation Authority issues a statement that the kill train was a success, with all 580 passengers on board being executed without incident. The state is reporting that it will only take another 6 months to get the population explosion under control, and then the kill train program can be ended. The report also mentions a whistleblower that was an assassin for the kill train program. They speak out against the inhumane practices. They're meant to be randomised exterminations, with the people being told that they are painless, when in fact the assassins were armed with guns to kill anyone on the train. When that failed, they would kill people with anything that they could find. When that team all quit, they claimed that the city's most destitute, impoverished and insane were sought out to carry out the rest of the program. As the report continues, Vanessa gets a call from her agent Mark. The producers that she sent her latest script to chose to pass on her story. Vanessa is devastated, as they asked for a lot of rewrites, and she was hoping that this would help get her out of the situation that she's in with Richard. She pulls herself together and heads upstairs to get her daughter Kay, as it's time for her to go to school. Kay is hiding, and as Vanessa looks for her daughter, she jumps on her from out of her closet. The two laugh and play a little, and we see that there is at least a good relationship between the mother and daughter. Kay tells her that she's the best mom ever and a total badass. Even Dad thinks so, and Vanessa says to tell him thank you when she next sees him. We see a moment of Vanessa asking Kay about a taxi pass that she found in her bag, along with the school telling her that Kay had missed Earth History class. She wants to make sure that she isn't being hit too hard with the divorce, which Kay says that she isn't. It was just hanging out with some friends. As they go to leave, Vanessa gets a message that seems to freak her out, but she chooses not to go into any sort of detail about it. Vanessa drops Kay at school, and as she's about to leave, she sees the mother of one of Kay's classmates and catches up a little bit. As she asks Vanessa how she's doing, Vanessa takes the opportunity to vent out how she's actually feeling to her. As she tells her of work woes, the mom says at least she has Richard to help her through this rough patch, which Vanessa doesn't really seem too thrilled about in actuality. And she feels even worse when she asks the mom how her work is going, and it turns out that mom's story was picked up by a producer. And not only that, it's being turned into a hologram, and she's been brought on to help co-write the script for it going forward. Vanessa makes an excuse to get out of there very quickly. The other mom offers her some money for a taxi, dreading her going on the train with the risk of the kill train taking place. Vanessa tells her that she's fine as she has Richard, remember? Unfortunately for Vanessa, he isn't quite as helpful as she hoped. The millets that he had transferred into her account haven't actually gone through yet, and the taxi car that she got off of her daughter is empty. And with that, the taxi takes off, and the driver tells her to take the train. As Vanessa walks downtown, her day is made all the better by her getting a phone call from her mom. She takes one last attempt at connecting with someone, telling them her issues that she's having at the moment, and is completely open and honest with her mom. She tells her about being rejected even after weeks of rewrites on her latest story, her manager not even attempting to get her compensation for the work that she put in, and the issue she's just had with the taxi. She feels that she just isn't where she thought she would be at this point in her life, and that she's just slipping away. Thankfully, her mother is there to tell her that she is overreacting, that Vanessa is too emotional and that it's not healthy. Then her mom solves all of her problems by telling her that she thinks she has a personality disorder, as divorce, moving in with another man, not achieving success and feeling sad all the time are symptoms of mental illness. Her mom continues to rant about how she needs to see someone, stop being selfish and to think about the needs of her daughter. So much so that even as she ventures underground, the words of her mom continue echoing in her head long after the call has disconnected. As Vanessa looks like she couldn't get any lower while standing waiting for her train, desperately trying to focus on her daughter's words that she is the best mom ever, she's spotted by an old friend that she hasn't seen since her college graduation. Corwin gives Vanessa a great big hug and says that she tried to get in touch with her after college but never heard back. Vanessa apologises as she's had a rough few years. Corwin is shocked and didn't think that could happen to Nest the best. Even when Vanessa says that's why she's even down here taking the train, that she always thought of Vanessa as living on the edge. She sees how low Vanessa is feeling, and Corwin tells her that whatever happens, they're in it together, just like old times. As Vanessa and Corwin board the train, Corwin asks what's actually been going on with her recently, and gives Vanessa encouragement of some of the amazing things that she remembers her doing back when they were in college together. So no matter if life isn't what she expected, if anyone can turn it around, it's her. As they catch up, they all of a sudden hear a woman yell out that the train has passed her stop. As the rest of the train car starts to take notice, the train rushes past yet another station. The realization starts to kick in, and people start to scream to get off the train. The issue comes to a close with one of the hired assassins, armed with a sword and knife, starts slashing their way through the passengers on the train, and Vanessa realizes that she is on a kill train. What a fantastic first issue for Kill Train. I honestly really enjoyed this. I enjoyed it for as much as I could. Definitely I'm excited to see where it goes. Not my shaking my desk at all there. But yeah, I absolutely enjoyed this as a setup issue to get to know Vanessa, to get to know the world she's in. They handled this properly. It's an issue that a lot of horror properties don't do, is they don't always make you care for the characters. Not so much in horror comics, but in horror movies especially, it's a really bad thing that they do. They basically give you a group of teens and make them cannon fodder. But they've introduced Vanessa, they made us care about her situation, let us know her life, how down she's feeling. And this is going to be the opportunity for her to step up on the kill train, I'm assuming, and I'm assuming we're going to get to know some of the other characters. Even just from the front cover, you see some of the characters, I recognise some of them that we see on the kill train itself. So there's so much more of this story that we're going to get into. But it's a brilliantly done story. It sets up this very futuristic world. This very futuristic world where it's honestly one of those things of like, you see certain things taking place in the world. Kind of like with the Purge, where it's like, I can see the steps of how society would get there. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see how it could be a direction people would eventually go to. Same with the kill train, I'm like, with enough, propaganda around about it, yeah, this could easily be something that ends up taking place. Especially like for people that don't have control, it's a randomized thing. It takes place every so often, and it's to help with population control and to try and keep it random. It's very Thanos in that sense, of like it keeps it random and fair. But I really enjoyed this issue. I don't know why the concept of the kill train stood out to me. As soon as I read it, I was like, this is a really interesting concept. Because it's one of those concepts where it starts off like it's about the train, but it could very quickly go beyond the train. Because They have the killer on the train. If they take that killer out, if they fight their way off the train, what's next? You've got the whole world to explore, delving into stuff. Like, there's a possibility of a really cool story arc here, a really cool one or two trades out of it, or a really awesome ongoing series. I think this is a definite one to pick up, and a definite one that needs a issue 2 to be picked up, just to see what happens next. The artwork in it is absolutely beautiful. Phenomenal artwork. I am not familiar with the writer and artist on this. I'm not familiar with Olivia Cuartero-Briggs and Martina Niosi, which I think I'm saying right. If I'm not, I apologise. I'm not used to the kind of more Hispanic names. Still getting used to the pronunciations of them, but I'm really impressed with this. Like, it would make me, like, if I seen them attached to something, I would quite happily check it out. Like, that artwork is awesome for this. I was really impressed with this book. I didn't know what to fully expect going into it, and I don't know what to expect going forward. But I would highly recommend checking it out as a kind of sleeper that's probably going under the radar for a lot of people in the midst of a whole bunch of great comics coming out right now. But yeah, I would highly recommend picking this one up. There's not a lot to fully say on it because we are very much at the beginning of the story. But I think, yeah, the Purge meets Speed is definitely my best description of kind of the scenario that we're in, trapped on this moving train, and yeah, a killing spree taking place. So go and check this out for yourself. Check out from Mad Cave Studios. They've always been awesome to us, so I'm always quite happy to shout them out. They've been doing some amazing work lately, and this is just another one to add to that list. But like I said, go and check out that playlist to see any of the other stuff from Mad Cave that we have covered. But that is it for us for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure, as I said before, hit that subscribe button. We've got some amazing content coming from Comics in the Cross, and we've got some amazing reviews coming, as well as a really cool couple of interviews set up for Let's Talk Comics, so you don't want to miss out on them. If you want early access to all of our stuff, go and check out our Patreon. We do have a Patreon, it'll be linked down below. You can support us for as little as $2 a month and get early access to not only the comic book content, but the tabletop and the gaming content here on YouTube early before it drops here. And then also, you can also get exclusive content that will be there just for our Patreon members. But hope you all have an absolutely amazing weekend. Take care, and remember, it's a good week to be a geek. We'll see you all next time. Peace.